bombs being tested at an airbase in Florida in 2003. The GBU-43 has never been used in combat by the US until now. American forces dropped the bomb in eastern Afghanistan near the border with Pakistan, targeting underground tunnels used by jihadists from the Islamic State militant group.
The GBU-43 is a large, powerful, and accurately delivered weapon. We targeted a system of tunnels and caves that ISIS fighters used to move around freely, making it easier for them to target U.S. military advisors and Afghan forces in the area. The United States took all precautions necessary to prevent civilian casualties and collateral damage as a result of the operation.
The bomb contains 11 tons of explosives and is the largest non-nuclear weapon ever used by the U.S. military.
We are so proud of our military, and it was another successful event.
Analysts say the bombing was intended to be a display of military might.
59 Tomahawks in Syria, now the biggest bomb ever built, apart from a nuclear one, of course, and then these deployments around Korea. So it's a show of force globally in the world, and that's very important for the Trump administration.
The White House declined to confirm whether President Trump had personally approved the bombing, which comes a week after the US launched a missile strike on Syria in retaliation for a suspected chemical attack by the Assad regime.
Well, the US State Department says that last Tuesday's alleged chemical weapons attack in Syria amounts to nothing more than a war crime. Officials in Washington have almost dismissed the Syrian president's comments made this Thursday in his first interview since that suspected gas attack in rebel-held Idlib province, saying it was just vintage Assad trying to create confusion. Bashar al-Assad, though, says Western claims that his army orchestrated the attack are 100% a fabrication used to justify US missile strikes against his regime.
The West, mainly the United States, is hand in glove with the terrorists. They fabricated the whole story in order to have a pretext for the attack. They will say that ISIS doesn't have chemical weapons. We are defending ISIS against the Syrian government and the Syrian army.
Well, after military action in Syria and now in Afghanistan, focus is also shifting to possible future action by Washington against North Korea. The US president has said this Thursday that the problem posed by Pyongyang is one that, quote, will be taken care of. The speculation mounts that North Korea might be preparing a sixth nuclear missile test. Catherine Clifford reports.
A fresh warning to North Korea from US President Trump, as reporters asked him if the US military's use of its largest non-nuclear bomb in Afghanistan sends a message to North Korea.
It doesn't make any difference if it doesn't. North Korea is a problem. The problem will be taken care of. I will say this. I think China has really been working very hard. I have really gotten to like and respect, as you know, President Xi. So we'll see how it goes. I think he's going to try very hard.
It comes as Washington-based monitoring group 38 North reports activity at a North Korean nuclear site as the country prepares to celebrate the 105th anniversary of the birth of its founder, Kim Il-sung. China, North Korea's main ally, wants to resolve tensions with Pyongyang over its nuclear program without using military force, though it's putting down a harder line than usual following Xi Jinping's talks with Trump last weekend, threatening Pyongyang with a response of unprecedented ferocity if it tests another missile, and turning back coal shipments from the country in recent days. On Wednesday, Trump said the US was prepared to tackle the crisis surrounding North Korea without China if necessary. Fears of a confrontation have been rising since the US deployed a naval strike group to the region as a show of strength in recent days. US officials have said Trump's administration was focusing its strategy on tougher economic sanctions on Pyongyang, playing down the prospect of any military strike, which would likely provoke massive North Korean retaliation.
Well, be it his view on NATO or his opinion on military action against the Assad regime in Syria, the US president has made more than one U-turn on his positions held during the presidential campaign. Olivia Salazar-Winspear has more as Trump goes back on his word more and more.
It's becoming a familiar move. Backtracking on major foreign policy positions, US President Donald Trump has made a 180-degree turn on NATO.
I said it was obsolete. It's no longer obsolete.
On the campaign trail, Donald Trump questioned the future of the US in the organization as one of its 3 permanent members. He now seems satisfied with NATO's actions against terrorism, but has accused other countries of not contributing enough financially to the alliance. Another major U-turn is Syria. Trump had urged his predecessor, Barack Obama, not to attack the country and was prepared to let Bashar al-Assad remain in power. His about-face last week took the form of dozens of Tomahawk missiles aimed at a Syrian airbase, after a reported chemical attack in Idlib province killed dozens of civilians. An intervention that critics see as a break with his America First policy. Trump has referred to Assad as evil, and his Secretary of State has suggested the Syrian leader could be tried for war crimes. Indeed, the strikes on Syria have aggravated one country that Trump had hoped would be an ever closer ally, Russia. The US president spent his campaign promoting better relations with Moscow, praising Putin, and even sparking speculation that the Kremlin had helped him get elected. That budding friendship has soured.
Right now, we're not getting along with Russia at all. We may be at an all-time low in terms of relationship with Russia. This is built for a long period of time.
Russian officials have been pushing the US to lift sanctions on the country. Now such deals with Washington appear to be off the table. A situation that's seen Trump turning to a new source of support, China. He said there was, quote, great chemistry with President Xi Jinping after their first encounter, and that Beijing was not a currency manipulator, as he previously alleged. Donald Trump angered Chinese authorities when he spoke with Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen shortly after he was elected. Trump had also previously criticized China for inaction on North Korea. Now he's urging Beijing to lend its support in reining in Pyongyang.